Sorry I'm late. Sorry. uh, anyway, we're live. Constantine, right as I clicked go live, he said, I'll be right back. So, Constantine will be right back. And, I'm gonna try to, oh, okay. I need to, 1 second. There's so many things going on. Okay. Okay, Constantine, you talk. I need to figure something out. Yep. Hopefully. I'm just having like all sorts of issues right now. I don't even know what's going on. This card changes. Okay. Okay. Right, it's getting better. Let's see, the problem is I have like literally 1,000 windows open. And I'm just kind of pulling it together, you know? Uh kind of lost track of time. Uh so uh so yeah, there's a I don't know if I'll call this a big update, because just honestly, like, there's like kind of two different versions of things happening right now. There's one version of things, there's some stuff I'm just asked not to talk about, and then there's other stuff that's just not very interesting. So one thing that I just heard just a moment ago is that Ukraine stopped a Russian attack. Let me find it on this map first. Though. Flip it around, and where am I? And it's up here. More up. Okay, so okay, so it was right here. So Russia moved in peons into, or is it pion? I never know how to say it. It's pion, right? Anyway, they moved peon. So peon. So they moved peons into this area. I'm not sure exactly where, and they were aiming to shoot. I don't know. I don't even know what. I don't know what they're shooting at. I guess like Pivnichna or something. I don't know. They're pretty long range, so they can shoot really far. In fact, I don't even know why you would move peons here. Isn't this like way too close to the front for a peon? It's kind of weird, considering. But but the thing is that like Ukraine has guys like here, and it's like a kilometer away. Like you could like shoot that with like a rifle if you you know it's not that far. Oh, Constantine's muted. I, no, he's not. You're not muted. He's not muted. Is he muted? Oh, Okay. Let me figure out that thing again, I guess. At least I know how to fix it now. Remember last time I had no clue how to fix it? Okay, you should be fixed now.
Can you hear me now, guys?
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, I don't think that. Okay, great.
Okay.
All right. So I can
Okay.
imagine that some of the planning officers in Russian military, they just had like, okay, we have in passport in technical characteristics it takes 7 minutes for peon to deploy and shoot. So let's just do quick shoot and scoot. But in reality, like it often happens, if there was a group of our soldiers with a DJI Mavic 3, that would end really fast for them. That may as well happen. You know, we've seen a lot of wrong things that Russian did in this war, so not a surprise that they did it. But why they would move them so close? Maybe just because they need to strike really deep. I don't understand why, but you know they did. If you want to strike deep, and Pine hits 40 kilometers, that's
Yeah.
28 miles deep inside, 28 miles away. So they could move it just to
So
to hit something really deep.
we're talking about it's checkpoint Mayorsk, and it is it's right here. You know, it's south of Bakhmut. And this was more or less the front line since like 2014. Like it was a little bit different back then. It was more like over here, like I don't know, maybe a kilometer to the east. But this was more or less the front line since 2014. So see, they're getting like pretty close to the front line of a peon. I don't know exactly where the peon was, but I did see that Russia moved peons into this location. Ukraine saw it coming. They fired their counter battery at it, or I guess in this case it's not even counter battery; it's more like opportunistic fire. I guess. Ukraine did not damage the peons. The peons ran away, but they destroyed their ammo trucks, and it foiled the attack.
So how do you know that?
How do I know that?
Was there a video of that?
Here I'll show you. One sec. There's not a video now. Uh, it comes from our friend uh, Zeplienko. Here. Oops. There. There. You can see that, right? Um, oops. So on April 25th at 10 p.m., Ukraine shelled checkpoint Mayorsk. There was peons, along with a full Kamaz full of shells. 155 millimeter artillery struck it. The peon escaped. Yeah.
Well, maybe as well it wasn't a peon. Maybe it was something like tulpan. You know that 240 millimeter self-propelled mortar. A lot of people confuse it, so I can imagine that. Like, where did he get this information? Probably was someone flying a drone and saw it. And you could on a distance you can as well confuse it, and those 240 millimeter tulpan mortars, they have much shorter range than a pion,
Yeah,
and they
it's
look
it's
very
what,
similar.
like 9 kilometers or something. Or no, it's much longer. I don't remember the range. So I think I have a video of one of those getting exploded. Yeah, I have a video of one of those getting exploded. No, I can't show it to you though. I can show you where it happens though. It was right here. I actually don't have the video, but it was right between these two buildings. Um, this happened yesterday, I think, or at least the video came out yesterday. So they've they've been setting up those mortars to really heavily shell Marinka, and I don't know why. Like, what is there to shell? Is it like the purpose of those things to like knock down a city? But the city's been knocked down. There's no city left. So, speaking of that, I actually have a video of Marinka. Let me find it. It actually shows a few destroyed Russian vehicles, which is interesting. Yeah, it's just the city is wrecked.
Yeah, the entire front line wherever you go is looks like this. It's almost like, especially in that Donbass area, because um it was shelled since like first day of the war, almost.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Nothing is
find.
left.
I know there's a lot of destroyed videos. I mean vehicles in this footage, and there was a guy who went through and geolocated every single one of them, and then he just had like a list of all of them. I'm trying to look for them now. They're like actually harder to see than you think. Like there's like dozens of destroyed vehicles in this. I promise. Like I think there's one right at the beginning that's a destroyed BTR. I'm trying to look for it. Let me just go to the beginning. I think it right when it turns right, there's a BTR. Uh, I don't know. I can't see it, but here's some like photographs. So like that's there's like screen caps from that. So there's another one. Uh, I don't know what these are showing, but there's something. So yeah, and there's this video, which is the same video, I think. But anyways, right at the beginning, there's this BTR. I was looking for this BTR the whole time, and I couldn't see it. But it's there, I promise. Um, it's in, yeah, that BTR is probably recoverable. It kind of fell in a hole, but
Yeah, it's stuck.
I can show you where that BTR is. It's right there. So that video was kind of just showing this kind of center of the city, which is kind of an abandoned gray area at this point. So that BTR is like right here. You see, it doesn't really look like a street anymore, but it used to be a street. Um, so yeah, and there's some more footage came out today from an area that we never really see too much footage from, which is Novelska. And I marked some of these destroyed BMPs, and they come from this video here. I think this is the video anyway. You see or this is a video of a Russian attack, I believe. So this is Russian artillery hitting the Ukrainian positions. In this footage, somewhere in like right like here, is a destroyed Ukrainian T-64, and this is going to pan to the east in the second, and you'll see the Russian assault on this town. It didn't go well. It didn't go well. This is just all artillery. It's not like JDAMs, and I think this is not the video I was thinking of. Oh, this is the video I was thinking of. But it's an attack on the same town. This is so T-72.
How much equipment did they lose there? It's just enormous.
The video that we were just looking at, the Russians have 5 destroyed vehicles there, so they lost 5 vehicles in that attack. And the video didn't like explicitly show them blow up, but if you pause it and analyze the footage, there's 5 destroyed vehicles. And this one, I believe they lost 2 or 3. They're all BMPs. This video, I believe, was before the other video, because you can see one of these destroyed BMPs in that video. Yeah, I should not show that part. We're gonna get banned again.
Close it.
But yeah, there's these are the BMPs. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, and from that same video from before, this is the destroyed Ukrainian tank. Anyways, so in this footage that from this one tiny town, like this is I don't even know if this is a town. It's like it's like it's so tiny. Just from these 2 videos, we see that Ukraine lost 1 vehicle and Russia lost at least 6. So that the Russians were attacking from the east, kind of this way. This weekend, I believe, there was a video of Russia attacking this intersection between these 3 forest strips. And that they recaptured it. And I know that they originally captured this in December, on December 19th, or thereabouts. And apparently either they lost it and then they had to recapture it, or this video is from December. I couldn't really make sure. It looked newer though. But anyways, so Russia is attacking down here south of Novelska. And they're attacking this kind of eastern portion, and in the recent past they've tried moving up here too. They didn't get very far, so that's kind of the attacking going on around this really tiny town that Russia has not been able to get through. They managed to capture a few pretty important defensive positions. There's this position here, which, if I remember right, is called Oasis. I think that was the name of it. The reason that it was called Oasis is because it's the lowest point in this area, and whenever it rains, like all the water, up here is lower, but in this general, just these fields is the lowest point. So whenever it rains, all the water from all the fields goes there, and you get just drowned in water, and so it's called Oasis. And then there's this other position here that I can't remember the name of, but Russia managed to capture these 2 really vital Ukrainian defensive positions, and this was like a long time ago. This was like in December, but they haven't been able to push west. They've just been stuck. So yeah, this is I know that there are some people who know a lot about this area, and Constantine, do you know anything about this area? Because there's like a lot of lore that I don't know. I don't think you know either.
Yeah, I have 2 guys that are over there, but I don't really ask what's up there because they have it pretty hard all the time. I know guys around where you have 2 explosions over there. and the blue painted blue,
Yeah,
marked
those
blue.
those are the two BMPs that were destroyed.
Oh, so that's probably where them. It's they were from the 25th Brigade over there. But I don't, I'm not the best guy to give you the news. I'm not
Yeah. Well,
asking
I
what's
mean,
happening.
just the history of these positions, because a lot of these positions have a lot of lore and history to them. They have, like, there's Ant Hill over here. There is Cuckoo, like, this is Ant Hill, like up here, and then I think this is Cuckoo. And I know like this over here was like Slab or whatever.
You're talking about position around the airport.
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of, if people are interested, there is a great movie. I think it's called Cyborgs, Kiborgi, about the defense of the airport, which essentially in the end it collapsed, and the main building collapsed, and we had to withdraw because there was nothing else to defend. And it tells a lot of a big story around it, and it's quite huge fighting ground that was going on. It's like, imagine Bakhmut, but on a smaller scale.
yeah.
In 2014, 2015, it was an amazing bravery. Our unit had, like, we formed out of our unit, we formed a joint unit called Wild Ducks, because we were part of the Air Force back then. It was a joint unit from 92nd Brigade and the Air Force team at the Chuhuiv airport, and this joint team fought around it, but it was long time ago.
Yeah.
We back then we controlled Piski, and we controlled Opetne, but if you look, like, it did not change that much since then.
Yeah.
So we had really fortified and well prepared positions back there.
Yeah. The difference
In
now.
Bills too, obviously.
The difference now is just back then there were houses and trees and some people even, and now there's just total destruction, and that's kind of the difference. But yeah, there's a lot of like really famous just like I don't know if there are books written about it, but there's like a lot of positions here that are just have a lot of history to them. This one here is Zenit, which is has a lot of history to it. There's Opitna, which has its own history, and just south of Opitna was this. They grew like Christmas trees here, so like there's like. And there's stories about these Christmas trees, like people going to Opitna or going to here to chop down a Christmas tree to like put into Zenit, and there's stories. There's just a lot of history to these positions because they're so old. And then there's also there's what's it called? Republica Mist is over here, which was another kind of famous position that had a bunch of newspaper articles and stuff written about it. So, anyways, this whole area has a lot of lore to it, and I don't know how many people still remember the stories, how many of them are still alive, honestly. But, anyways, so moving on. I have I don't know what kind of news do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk do you want to talk about like the just kind of go in order like I usually do? Because there's really not much in the north, or do you want to just like talk about the river? What do you want to do, Constantine?
Well, let's do the usual, like you start from the north and go down.
Okay, because I have very little news from this northern area. I do know that today.
Well, then it would be quick.
Today, Russia hit the local museum in Kupiansk with an S-300. I believe two people died. I think one was a
I think they hit
worker.
it yesterday, and today we actually finished
Okay,
the recovery operation there.
okay. So anyway, whatever. They hit it. Hit the museum with an S-300, which did a lot of damage. I think I have photographs somewhere. It's pretty sad, especially that two people died. I believe one of them was a worker there, and the other one I don't really know. There's some photographs. Uh, so that's one thing that happened. The This whole area up north is getting pretty heavily shelled. There's a lot of artillery duels going on. Um, Dvrechna, right in the middle of the city, right here. The other day got hit by a aerial bomb, like one of the Russian glide bombs blew up this building. Supposedly it hit Georgian Legion or something. I don't know if that's true though, but the building did get exploded. Beyond that, I don't really know. There's some talk of Ukraine having some forces back in Hranikivka, which Ukraine had previously abandoned because there was no point in defending it. Russia controls this whole forest line around the town. The town itself, Russians are afraid to enter. It's too dangerous. The other day, I know one of these buildings in Dvrechna got hit by artillery and collapsed, and a police drove up to help rescue them and pull people out of the rubble, and a tank on the other side of the river engaged the police as they were trying to pull people out of rubble. And the police were upset about that. Beyond that, I don't really have much news from up here. That's basically all the news I have. Down in Chervono-Pavlivka, Ukraine destroyed a BMP-2 that was kind of right there in the town, kind of in the middle of the town-ish. Ukraine may fully control all of these three like little forests here. I'm not really sure whether they control it or not. I know that Russia had pushed multiple assaults into these forests and they were all repelled. I don't know if that means these forests are Ukrainian controlled or still a gray zone. So I have it marked as a gray zone, although it might be all Ukrainian at this point. And down south near Kremena, Ukraine kind of pushed up into this area of the forest, and they were heavily shelled, and I'm not really sure what happened after that. And that's kind of all the news I got. Do you know anything from up here?
No, I don't know anything about her. I was not, just same as you do.
Yeah. So around Bilohorivka, Ukraine has launched several successful attacks south of Bilohorivka. I don't know the full extent of it. Some people are saying that they have retaken this like industrial thing. I can't remember what it is, like a filtration or whatever. Anyway, so some people are saying that they recaptured this and their area of control might be around there. I'm not really sure. I haven't changed the map because I don't know what they captured. But Ukraine did recapture positions that they had abandoned. Because kind of what happened, Russia pushed up this street and this like kind of parallel forest thing. They pushed up. Ukraine was heavily outnumbered from what I could tell from the videos that I've seen. They're heavily outnumbered. Like it was like like 100 versus like 15. It was something like that. So the Ukraine just kind of ran away, and the Russians were moving through and clearing this area. And as they were clearing it, Ukraine counterattacked. The Russians fell back into like back here somewhere. I'm not really sure where. The Russians fell back, and Ukraine couldn't hold it, so they fell back, and this whole area became a gray area. And then more recently, Ukraine has pushed into this gray area, and I don't know the extent of what happened after that. And simultaneously, Ukraine is pushing east from Verkno-Kamyanska towards Volotarivka, and they might also be pushing south kind of this way. I'm not really sure. So Ukraine is slowly expanding their area of control around here, and I think it's mostly Ukraine claiming gray area, and I just don't know the extent of their success, so I haven't been able to map it. Then moving south into Sperna, Russians did a, I guess on paper, you would call it a successful attack, but in reality, it was a horrifically bad, like a total failure of an attack, where Russia pushed a whole bunch of BTRs into Sperna. They pushed past this like industrial area and over into these wider fields. In these wider fields, they were engaged by Ukraine. All the BTRs were destroyed, and the infantry jumped out of their flaming carcasses and ran into this industrial area. And then they posted a bunch of photographs saying it was a successful attack. So I don't. To me, that's a total failure, but to them, it was a success. So technically, they captured this area at the cost of losing all of their vehicles. And there are, this was one of the located BTRs that I have, but there were more destroyed BTRs here too as well. So that happened on the 23rd, I think, or the 22nd, something like that. So yeah, that's kind of all the news I have for the Siversk area, other than there's just a whole bunch of shelling. I don't know. And these buildings are all completely ruined. They're all just done. There are underground components to this. The underground is bigger than the above ground, and the Russians have been posting photos and videos of that underground area. So yeah. But anyways, so moving on towards the Bakhmut area, Russians have tried to push towards Novomarkove, and they have had no success. They haven't moved at all, from what I understand. I'm not really sure how they're trying to get there. I just kind of like drew an arbitrary arrow. But they're kind of just generally speaking trying to move west from here west, and they haven't moved at all, I don't think. Near Bodanivka, Russians tried to push through this forest the other day, and I can't remember where. Oh yeah, right there. It was there was a destroyed Russian convoy right here. Maybe convoy's the wrong word, but it was a destroyed bunch of Russian stuff that was trying to move through this forest. So this is a marker for a T-80, but there's more as well that I didn't mark. So they're trying to move that way, and simultaneously they tried moving. They had successfully gotten to this road. I don't know if they ever broke the road. But anyways, Ukraine then counterattacked and I guess pushed Russia away from the road, and the road is still open from what I understand. Oh, Constantine, do you want to read that message you got about this road?
Well, I'm not. I'm English. If you can read it, it would be amazing. But I'm not. If I was an English native, I would love to do this, but I would only make it sound bad.
Okay.
So I appreciate if you do this.
Okay. I will. Let me get the text.
I will just tell everyone that this is a message from my friend Artyom. We know each other since 2014. He's a combat veteran as me, but he stayed in Ukraine. I moved to United States a long time ago. He stayed, and when the war started, when the invasion started in February 2022, he joined the military. He's been serving ever since in the 92nd Brigade, and right now he is, he has been at every position possible, and right now he is doing his job, driving through this road to Bakhmut. It's called the Road of Life, or Дорога жизни, чи Дорога життя, якщо українською. And he's a driver there on the armored truck, and yesterday he sent me his he wrote his experience on it that he wanted to share, because it was quite quite new for him, because he was not in Bakhmut before. Well, he was not a driver before as well, and they lack drivers at the moment. So he was moved to this position, and the experience was quite new to him, and he wrote quite an interesting depiction of what's happening. So if you can read it. Oh, Andrew, I have translated it actually. You can go to my Twitter if so that I think it's a bit easier for everyone to understand if you read my version. And we also corrected some parts of it, and removed the mistakes together with him.
Okay, I'll find your text.
Give me 1 second. I'll send it to you. Give me 1 second.
Because I know you posted today.
Here it is.
I'm just gonna scroll.
Huh?
Okay.
I just sent it to you in Twitter.
Okay. So here is the text. I'll zoom in so it's bigger. Okay. So the first thing that caught my attention was the mud on the roads. There was mud left by tracks and tires, left by vehicles everywhere. And instead of being cleaned like in civilian life, sand and dirt covered the wheels. Sand and dirt covered the roads. And war asphalt was covered and crushed by earth and a layer of dust that rises with every vehicle that passes by. Fragments from shells and broken power poles litter the roads, making driving difficult without banging into them. It's best to avoid the shoulder unless a tank or armored vehicle is moving toward you. Sometimes it's necessary to make way for a vehicle rushing from the front or rushing towards it, as it could be an evacuation of wounded personnel. Due to the abundance of potholes caused by equipment or incoming shells, driving is chaotic, but you can try to follow the path of others who have ridden before you. My armored truck jumps up and down as I drive along the road, but I don't feel it as much as the driver's seat. In the driver's seat, troops in the troop compartment feel it very well and hit the ceiling with their heads, yelling well-known curses, indicating that I drive too fast. I try to slow down, but if you go too slow, it's dangerous due to enemy fire. Every second counts. Evacuation is a separate topic. I time every trip to know the exact time to the evacuation point. This reduces the time the soldiers spend at the evacuation point waiting for me. The road is easily shot through, so moving quickly while covering yourself behind natural features, vegetation, and less successful predecessors is essential. It's safer to drive without lights, especially at night. An automatic gearbox helps a lot, which saves time when switching gears. But one day the selector got stuck in the reverse position. I had to call a technician on duty. They gave me a manual over the messenger. I found out how to unlock the selector. I opened the gearbox from the top and reached the selector blocker with my finger, and we were off. Later, I figured out that it was mud blocking the lever underneath. Our technicians were super happy about to send the vehicle to the rear for repairs. This happened twice. My schedule is 4 days of driving, 2 days of rest. Dirt is everywhere, making it difficult to repair and clean the car. Military road feels like an outcast zone of the stalker game. You can't escape the sense that there's another world ahead. When you see the infantry trenches and smoke rising from the explosions, you know it's the end of the world. But if everything is done right, your chances of survival are manageable. I drop off the troops, turn around, and rush back. No time for waste. We drive without lights during the night. I have a night vision device made in 1991. It only helps a little. I go primarily without it. It's too old. I identify the boundaries of the road with my peripheral vision. The incoming traffic is a problem, but I've been lucky. Dirt is everywhere. After a couple of our APZs were hit by ATGMs, we began to drive across the field. But the rains came, the area turned into a swamp, the equipment is heavy, and at best, it's a really bumpy ride. The worst case, you skid and end up belly stuck. We managed to get out, but someday we won't. Also, if the enemy detects us, they'll use artillery. The same dirt remains on you when you get into the car. You get into the car covered in it. It also interferes with repairs when fixing flat tires, for example. Dirt pours down on the windows. The view of the armored car is not so good. Anyway, the view of the armored car is not so good to begin with, and then they only get the space cleared from the wipers. Getting the water for the windshields is a big problem. I don't see many wells. The central water system doesn't work. The windows get dirty every time I leave, and it feels like you're somewhere in the desert. It's also interesting how the military road is perceived. You just feel that there's some other world ahead. And this is a picture of his car. You see, the only area you see is at the corner, basically, because the wiper isn't big enough to clean the whole thing. So
Thank you for reading it. I did my best trying to translate it. Actually, when going through, when you read it, I saw a couple of mistakes and repeated some things twice. So, but thank you for reading it. It's great that this is shared, and Artyom is super happy. He's on Twitter, by the way. If you come in from Twitter, you can follow him. That's his account at the end of this tweet.
Yeah, I'll show the account here. It's there he is. Here, I'll follow him. There we go. All set. Anyways, so this gets back to a lot of things that I've heard from other people. The number I've talked to people about this, about just driving in the war, and they all just say, like, how is Ukraine made of so much dirt? The dirt just comes out of nowhere. Like, you'll be clean 1 second, and the next second you're just covered in dirt, and you don't know how the dirt got there. And, like, that's just kind of like an ongoing problem. There's just dirt everywhere.
And today there was a new video released, I think, with the from the 3rd Brigade of National Guard, I think Assault Brigade, where they stormed this road, and specifically where you're showing, I think, and they used the M113 the UPR version, and they actually took the position, took the positions, and it was like this experience was one of those trips as well.
Yeah,
He's not in that brigade, but they're working together on this piece of road.
yeah, I don't think I saved that video, but I did see that video. I try not to. I tend to not save combat videos.
I don't think we can show it here.
Yeah, I doubt it. That reminds me of a video that we can show, which is kind of fun. I'm going to play it in a way where you can hear the audio, because it's just it's kind of a fun video. I believe these guys are from Spain, and they're fighting for Ukraine. And here I'm going to set it up so you can hear it. Okay, let's go.
Andrei, saludo para ti y tus seguidores de parte de Willy. Andrei, desde aquí, desde las trincheras de Ucrania, saludo de Aquiles. Un abrazo.
Un abrazo, Andrei, de Rana, desde aquí las trincheras. Tu fiel seguidor Veneno.
Yeah, that's just a video. Just the Spanish dudes. Pretty sure they're Spanish anyway. Their voices sound Spanish. Anyways, so yeah, I don't know what to say. Moving on, I guess. His name, the name of that account was Artem. If you go to Constantine's tweet, you can see it, but I'll post it in the chat so you can see it in the chat. That's his name. Yeah. Anyways, so moving on. In Bakhmut, there was a rather large explosion. It was right there. People are saying it's JDAMs. I'm not entirely sure whether it is JDAMs or not. No, do you think it's JDAMs?
I don't know. I honestly like commenting on JDAMs. I think JDAMs is a disaster in this war. I cannot comment on this unless I say really bad things, but I don't believe for my personal that it's a JDAM.
I don't think so either. I think it's just a Gimler, honestly.
I mean, how many explosions do you see?
Yeah, because I think what happened is that at first, I think that was a Gimler, and I think it lit ammo on fire, and the ammo exploded. That may have been another Gimler.
Well, the explosions are in different places when they exploded too, so I don't know.
Yeah,
but definitely
you
cannot drop. I don't think you can drop 6 JDAMs, right? But
yeah, but like, I think if you had an explosion here, I think you could easily cause an explosion there through like fire or something setting these explosives off. I think that's close enough where it would be fine. There's, I don't think I have a video of it. But there was another event with Adam. Oh yeah, I do have the video actually. This video you see at the end. This is kind of an example. You see, an artillery shell landed right here and set off ammo there. So, and it was about 20 meters away. I measured it on the map to be about 20 meters. So it is possible for to set off, this kind of chain reaction from distantly,
Oh, definitely it's possible. You have debris, you have something burning, flying. Like it may happen. It's definitely can happen.
But that Adam video, I went through and marked all of these positions. Can't remember what day it was. Oh, it was here. So in that video, the first strike was here. It was so close. It missed by less than 20 meters. The second strike was over here. It way overshot by like 100 meters. The third shot was here. And a fourth shot was right there and set off. I guess we could watch the video. What do you think? So here we have the Russians are unloading a BMP. They're carrying ammo and storing it in this structure. This structure is this building right here. So the BMP is roughly where this red car is. They're carrying out and putting it in there. Then they have like a little ATV driving away. I guess he's lucky. Yeah, so the first shell just missed. Second shell overshot. Third shell is across the street. And then the last shell got him. So yeah, it would be interesting to hear CJ talk about this, because these, like, having these shells land this accurately, it's pretty impressive. Like, having two out of 4 shells land within 20 meters, 3 out of 4 shells landing within 40 meters. It's pretty good, don't you think?
This is good precision. This is definitely for unguided shells. It's really good. If you can hit a target from the even 5 rounds, it's considered to be good.
Yeah, and this first shell, the first one was less than a meter further away than the last one. Like this first shell could have hit. It was just kind of like, I don't know if like the shrapnel like got absorbed or something. Like, I don't know. Like it could have easily set off the explosion of the first shell. And then over here today, Adam, I believe, destroyed a radar. This is a mortar, a counter mortar radar, I believe. Do you know what this radar is?
Strish 3. No, I don't.
I think it's a counter mortar radar. I think it. Anyway, so Adam destroyed the. I think I have the video here actually. One sec. Let me try to find it.
No, that's actually Strish 3 is the defense against the UAV. So
Okay.
it's EW system. Yeah, this one. It's it's a system to suppress enemy UAVs.
Okay. Well, it broke, and then they took out this mortar position over here too. So this mortar position is right here. So yeah, Adam has been releasing a lot of good videos of them just terrorizing this whole like Klashivka area. In the past, they so I showed this area here where they took out that ammo cache. There have been a whole bunch of Nonas destroyed, the Nona self-propelled mortars. They've destroyed like 5 of them on these streets. They took out this electronic warfare thing. There was a counter battery radar somewhere on this hill. I can't remember where. I think it was over here actually. I think it was right there. Anyway, so they took out a counter battery radar there. So Adam has just been releasing all sorts of videos of destroying expensive equipment. It's been pretty interesting to see them. So now to get into kind of the Bakhmut news, I guess. Over the past few days, Russia has pushed up to this Crimea street, and they've captured the entirety of the street. They're now pushing down 3 main roads in the north. The first road is this kind of main road that goes down the middle, and the other 2 are these 2. They're going kind of down the northern flank. There's a heavy fighting around this hospital. So that's kind of the northern sector. In the center, Russia has captured up to the street. I can't remember the name. What's the name? Polyavia or whatever. Anyway, so they captured up to this street. They're trying to do the same, moving from the south. They really want to control the whole street. Ukraine currently controls this intersection, and this annoys the Russians. They're trying to change that. In the kind of the south/western part of the city, this street, Lisova 2 or second Lisova or whatever, Russia isn't really attacking anymore. They're building up fortifications along this street. They're kind of afraid of a Ukrainian counterattack coming in to wipe them out. Ukraine really were banking on controlling this street as part of their main defensive plan. So when they lost it, it was kind of upsetting. And the Russians are trying to move up this street here, which is Holiev. Anyway, I don't know how to pronounce that. But anyway, so that's just kind of the situation in Bakhmut. It's not great. It's not good. But I know people keep saying that nothing is happening in Bakhmut and that Russia hasn't moved recently, but that's not true. Like, Russia is moving in Bakhmut. Well, I really know. I don't know what to say. It's just not good. There have been numerous, from what I understand, orders, or I don't know how else to describe it. Basically, just telling people to stop posting videos about Bakhmut, like just please stop posting videos, because Russia was using these videos to drop bombs and stuff So they're saying, please don't post videos. There's also requests to not talk about what streets the fighting is going on and what streets Ukraine is defending. There's just basically, I've seen a lot of people just saying like, they don't really want to talk about Bakhmut anymore. And for that reason, I've been posting news that is old. I've been waiting a minimum of 48 hours to post stuff, including all the stuff I just said. So I don't know what else to say. The issue in Bakhmut is that Russia severely outnumbers Ukraine in Bakhmut. Part of it is because Ukraine can't really supply Bakhmut very easily, so they can't have many people there because they can't really supply too many, you know? And the other issue is that Russia is just dumping everything they can into Bakhmut. So those are kind of the two sides. I don't know. Constantine, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I want to say that Bakhmut plays its role. Of course, it's not like, this is a war, and people have to understand that in the war, unless you are like fighting someone who is severely underarmed and does not know what he's doing, situations like this are happening. And the war is not always going, it's not one-way street. There are two sides to it, and in this case, Bakhmut is doing what it's supposed to do. It's slowing down Russian offensives. Russians taking casualties. Maybe sometimes it's not done perfect, like it's not a perfectly executed operation, but you must understand Ukraine not in the position in this war generally to do everything perfectly. We are severely underarmed compared to Russia. We are we don't have enough ammunition. And if you consider all those factors, the Bakhmut is quite, it's doing its job for Ukraine. Not perfectly, could have been better, of course, but this is what we have. And it's not, if you remember, people 3 months ago in January, I think people were saying, oh, the Bakhmut already is about to be encircled. It's been 3 weeks.
I remember
3 months.
I remember like
Yeah,
like May of last year when everyone was saying Bakhmut was already lost. People have been saying Bakhmut is lost for like almost 11 months.
Yeah, so and you must understand that it has held so far, and when people say, oh, Ukraine should have pulled out already, you must understand the same is going to be happening to the next it's not like Russia will take Bakhmut and say, okay, we're done, we're not gonna attack anyone, and we're good. No, it's not. It's basically Russia will have the next objective to move to. So holding this down is important. During this time, the fortifications are built, hopefully. Also, Ukraine receives more modern weapons. We receive soon the Bradleys, quite substantial number. We will receive more artillery. We will receive the CV40, right? I keep forgetting the number. We will receive Leopards and even Abrams. I don't think it's gonna happen. It can happen only closer to the end of the summer, but it will happen. And at the end of the summer is not as far as people think. It's only 3 months left until that. And we've been talking about that Bakhmut will fall. People are talking about the Bakhmut will fall like for 9 months or whatever. So keep those things in mind. It plays its role. The casualties are high. On both sides. There is a lot of coverage, a lot of media attention to this. But trust me, this war is going on for a long period of time. And for example, if you remember what was happening in Izum at the beginning, when Izum we were fighting for Izum, and we then lost it, and we had casualties there as well. 95th Brigades, Territorial Defense, and other units were held in the Izum was all possible forces that they had, power that they had. They invested a lot of it. We had losses there, but we eventually withdrew. Was it a loss right now? If you ask yourself, did we lose Izum? Look at the map. Izum right now is in Ukrainian hands, and it happened because each step of the Russian invasion cost them so much that they have to, after taking this, they have to regroup, they have to rebuild their forces, they severely degrade their ability for counterattacks, and that's when Ukraine received new equipment. We got M777s back then. We got additional ammo, and look where Izum right now. It's liberated town, and the entire front line in Kharkiv was pushed away. So it may be one of those things that will happen. We'll have to live and see. But I don't think that this is something really terrible and bad happening. Of course, there are a lot of emotions. You must understand that in the war, we all want to see Ukrainian victory really fast, but it does not happen like this. If Ukraine right now overcommits its reserves, we can get them, for example, stuck in the mud. We read a passage from a friend of mine recently depicting the state of the soil right now, and imagine losing Bradleys not to the enemy ATGMs and in combat, but because they were stuck in the soil. It's not going to be good for everyone. So we gotta endure. And you can help. You can, there are multiple fundraisers. I'm not having right now any fundraisers, but there are a lot of ways to support Ukraine, and there are a lot of ways to help stop the Russians right now. I look for the reputable fundraisers. There is our Liberty Foundation that fundraises. We get the drones. Drones help. Drones spot Russian offensives, and we have time to react and save the lives. So I just wanted to say this then. Thank you.
Yeah. It's just there's a pretty good chance they're gonna lose Bakhmut. There's talk that Russia is prepared to launch their next wave in Bakhmut. I've been saying for I feel like it's been 2 weeks now that Russia has been preparing to launch one last push to capture the city. I've heard from a lot of different people that they seem to be ready to do this now, that it could happen at any moment, that they could do this last thrust. It doesn't mean that thrust will work. There is a chance that thrust will fail. And if it fails, I don't know what's going to happen. It would be really bad for Russia if it failed. I mean, if their attack succeeds, it's kind of, what everybody expected to happen. But if it fails, that's really bad for Russia. That could be a catastrophe.
Yeah, so if they succeed, they take Bakhmut, 150, what is this, 54th largest city in Ukraine. It's not something substantial. They've been fighting for it 9 months. They destroyed the entire division over there, and I just don't think that you can claim it as a victory, even if Ukraine just pulls out right now. It cannot be a victory for them anymore. I mean, the level of degradation of their army because of this battle is enormous. Recovering from that takes a lot of time. Military is not about just we got so many, we got 50 tanks and 200 armored personnel carriers, and we will conscript 2,000 more 200,000 more troops, and we're ready to continue. It's not like that. Trust me. With every wave of mobilization, with every push, it's becoming harder and harder for that. Remember the start of of this invasion, how many they attacked from all sides that they possibly could. They lost attacks in the north, they lost attacks in the in Kharkiv, and then they suffered huge losses. They had to regroup, they scaled down their attacks. They tried to take Izium, then they failed. They tried to take Izium, they tried to take Mykolaiv as well. They failed there as well. They had to scale down once again, and they keep scaling down because each of their offensive cost them unrecoverable efforts. Of course, it's grind down the Ukraine as well. With it's not like Ukraine does not have any losses and just can simply counterattack. Ukraine also have to rebuild its forces, have to recuperate, and it's quite a complex process. But right now, from what we've seen that has been happening, Ukraine has better chances and proven itself to be more strategically and logistically oriented towards winning this war, rather than Russia trying to okay, let's just take this, let's throw our whole forces, take this, oh, we failed here, let's scale down. And every time they scale down, it's a moment for Ukraine to take back its land, and it's been happening before. It can happen once again. I don't know if it's going to happen. We're all waiting for this counteroffensive by Ukraine. Everyone is frustrated. Everyone is waiting for it, but we hope it's going to happen. But it's war, for people to understand. War have million different strategies, and we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen.
Okay, so moving on, down to the Avdiivka area. Russia has pushed a little bit closer to Novokalovne. Ukraine took really heavy casualties here. There's really no way to sugarcoat it. It was bad. But they have been anyway. Russia managed to push towards these train tracks here. So the area. One second. Anyway, the area west of Avdiivka, south of Severna, Russia has been repeatedly trying to assault here, taking pretty bad losses in the process. I think I don't. Yeah, there are some confirmed, geolocated losses. BMP-2, another BMP-2. So those are, anyway, these are just kind of, the daily kind of losses for Russia is just 2 or 3 BMPs here, 2 or 3 there. It's kind of their kind of daily, thing here. So and just to kind of do the math on that, they have like what a few thousand of these BMPs left, losing a few a day in these suicide attacks. They add up pretty fast. Anyway, so and they're still attacking Pervomaisky, and they're still attacking Vodiana. Like I showed before, they're attacking Novelska, and they are attacking all in the northern and central part of Marinka. All of these areas with no notable successes whatsoever. Then kind of moving south, there was a video today of a BMP being destroyed in Mikhailska. I have it marked on my map. I'll open that up. It was right there, and here's the video. I clicked the wrong button. So this is a suicide drone. Got him. So yeah, that's that. Moving further south, there was a lot of weird news today. I don't know what to make of really any of this news. It's all very weird. But there were first reports of explosions in Azovska. And then there were reports of explosions in Rzuf, and then reports of explosions in Novopetrivka, and then more reports of explosions in all of these areas. Just all throughout the day, there's more and more reports of explosions. I have no idea what these explosions were. I don't know if it's a Ukrainian attacking them, which would be weird given the distances, although possible. Ukraine has weapons that can hit here. There are drones. There are the Krim things. They have the range, their missiles. But yeah, I don't know what to make of this. But there are explosions there, and then also in Tokmak and in Molochansk, there were reports of explosions. In addition, Kinsky, Rozdori had reports of explosions, and also Polohi. So those are all kind of the southern front news. I don't really have any frontline news from any of these places. Moving down to the Kherson area, in Kizomis, the Russia bombed the town with multiple guided missiles of some sort or another. It destroyed a number of houses. Ukraine lost Su-25 apparently. When it was going on a bombing run, it got shot down, unfortunately. And yeah, there's this whole kind of all of these towns here that I've marked with artillery. I'll move to the other version of the map so it's easier to see. All of these towns have heavy, have been under heavy Ukrainian shelling. So it's basically all of the towns on this little strip. And of course, this island, oh, that marker is wrong. This island, whatever. This island, the northern part of it, Ukraine has put some of their DRGs here, and everybody is saying that this means that Ukraine crossed the river. I mean, I guess technically it means they crossed the river, but that's the wrong color. And yeah. Oh, and right here, Ukraine got a pretty interesting drone strike here. Here. So this was, I'm not really sure what this device did. I don't know if it was electronic warfare or whatever, but Ukraine, they got it. They flew a drone through the window of this building here and took that out. So that's kind of all I got from the south. I don't know. Constantine, what do you think?
So I don't know anything about it. I don't know. I don't have any news from there. I don't. Oh, I know. I know what that. There is Aleshka. Did you go to Aleshka already?
I kind of skimmed over it. I know it's under heavy shelling. It's under the shelling is described as chaotic. That's what I've heard.
So here are my needs. This is from my relative over there, and not only relative. So first of all, they did not have electricity for a really long period of time, and now they got electricity back in Aleshka. However, they still have no water. There are a lot of rumors in Aleshki right now that Ukraine is already, like, we have operations on actual mainland, not only on the islands, but between the banks, but actually on the mainland. But those are rumors, not confirmed. And there was so there was a rotation of Russian troops recently. Old guys, this is in the area. They had in a battalion of 1 guys, and they were moved out. They were like in their 30s to 40s, and the new guys that came in are much younger. They're like 18 to 25, maybe, just really young guys that, you know, only became eligible to serve a couple of years ago, or if not this year, and a lot of them. So this is the news that I wanted to share.
I heard a rumor.
Not breaking.
I heard a rumor that this area got Ukrainian cell service and Ukrainian like television service recently. Did you hear about that?
Could you repeat that, sorry?
I heard that this area of like Oleshki, they got Ukrainian cell service and television service. Like it had been jammed or something.
No. So that's not exactly true. Yeah, this is one of the important things as well. But on the other bank, on the Ukrainian controlled bank right now, there was a new equipment installed that is a bit more powerful, and right now it's easier to catch the signal from that bank, and that's what I got from my relatives. That's
okay.
What I understood.
Okay, because I had heard that and I didn't know what to make of it. But anyways,
no, that's true, but I don't know the reason. Like the reason for that, it appears to be that new equipment on the other side of the bank. But it's true that they're using. Before there were basically spots where they had to go to catch a signal from Ukraine, and they would be able to catch it. Right now, it's more like not everywhere, but it's much easier to catch it. And sorry, I'm doing chicken wings.
But yeah, it's, the impression I got was that Ukraine had broken some Russian toy. But if they installed something, I guess that's kind of like two sides of the same coin. It doesn't really make a difference. Anyways, that's kind of all the news I got. I don't really have anything else. Oh, there was one big piece of news. It's not like super important, but it really pissed off the Russians. Like I have not seen Russians this angry since the Kerch Bridge exploded. And it's kind of weird that this of all things made them so angry. But in Ravenki, Ukraine flew a drone into a diesel thing. What's this called? I always forget what these are called. A diesel tank. And it lit on fire, and it burned down. They lost all their diesel. And this infuriated the Russians. They were so mad. They were so angry at this stupid diesel. It was like stuff that I hadn't seen since the Kerch Bridge, when they were just like losing it. It was so weird. And it was only like I had to like it was in the really like hardcore Russian like outlets, like not like the mainstream stuff, and like not like Telegram. It was like the more like the more hardcore kind of Russian stuff. They were so mad about this. They were like freaking out. I was just sitting there laughing. It was like, dude, it's a little bit of diesel. Like, chill out. Anyways, they're saying like this is like World War III. Like, I don't know why they're so mad about that. Anyway, that's kind of all I got. It's
Okay, so have you seen the news about Armata T14 tank?
I saw that they were talking about sending it in the combat or something, but that's all I saw.
So apparently, Russia is saying that it's going to be deployed on the front lines soon.
Yeah, yeah. Good luck. Um, yeah, I have a video of a Ukrainian peon. Not let me find it. I'm trying to find it. Trying to find it and talk at the same time. But it was a Ukrainian peon that, first off, you don't see those often. Yeah, it's saved. It was saved by a netting. Yeah, it's just you see the effect of netting. It caught the Lancet. Lancet exploded. No damage to the vehicle. Totally fine.
Yeah.
I saw another thing today that
Are you sure that's a Pion? It doesn't look like a Pion to me.
I don't know. What do you think it
It's
is?
more like Get. I think it's Getsint, not Pion. Yeah, it's Getsint. It has the muzzle brake in the end. It's not a Pion.
Okay, I don't know. Whatever that is.
Did the source say it was Pion?
Yeah, it did.
Well, it's Getsint. It's because the muzzle brake. It's not a Pion definitely, because Pion, like the barrel of the Pion ends with nothing, just barrel goes as this. This one has like something on its end, and it looks like a muzzle brake. So.
Yeah. So yeah. I saw that there were figures that were like they wanted to add the active missile protection system to a T-90. And I think, is it the same protection system as on the Armada? I'm not really sure. I didn't really read into it because I looked at it and it just, my eyes rolled into the back of my head, and I just thought, good luck. Yeah, go ahead, put your active missile system on it, and then you're gonna get shot with a javelin and blow up anyway. So good luck. That's kind of all I thought when I saw it. But they're talking about like adding active protections to the T-90 going forward, and I don't think it's going to work. And I think if they send their armadas, I think they're all going to blow up too.
If the active protection does not work on T-90, why do you think it's going to work on Armada? Yeah, there is no reason for it to work.
Yeah,
the cope cages can help.
The Armada, its active defense is different than any tank that's currently out right now. I'm pretty sure they have a different system. Although I think that anyway, but the Armada is not tested. So even let's just say the system is really good and it works. What do you think the odds are that it doesn't have bugs? Like even the best vehicles with the best systems and the best engineers, you're still gonna have bugs. Like it's gonna
And the newer it is, the more bugs you have, and of course you still have people and the tactics that you have to use right. So I would say that, for example, Russian T-90 tank, it's pretty good. It works. It's not like a complete disaster. It's because it's relatively not that expensive. It's relatively new. It has good optics. It has good thermal size. It has good radio. So like basic things are really good on it. I would suggest for them it's much more reasonable to build on top of that instead of trying to bring some new magic stuff that still will not be able to defeat javelins or any modern ATGMs, because for that you need to counter modern ATGM, you gotta meet the round, the projectile before it hits you, and before it hits you, that's active protection for you. And active protection can be easily installed on any machine. Like it's you can install active protection on your Hyundai Accent if you want. It just sensors and the launcher, so you can as well install them on D90. But they don't have properly working active protection on T90, so I'm guessing that, so it doesn't really make sense for them to use Armada unless they have a lot of them, which I doubt. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like
the Armada. I think they only have 20, and I think not all of the 20 even run.
No, I don't think they have probably around like 40 of them or something.
Unless they've been making them. The last I heard, they had like 20. But yeah, these are their stupid little patents for their T90. It's a nice little pretty picture they got there. I don't know if it's going to work in real life, but good luck. It is getting these weapons to actually work is easier said than done. So there's always bugs, there's always engineering issues, no matter how well you think you designed it, no matter how good you think you are. When you put it in real life, you're always gonna have a headache trying to figure out why.
Yeah, and this happens to Western equipment as well. It's nothing new in the world of military. New equipment does not work out of the box. There are a couple of usually iterations, same as it was not only the native Western equipment failed to perform sometimes, also it failed to perform during the United States using it before. So and there were upgrades, there were changes that solved it. There was shifts in the doctrines before because of that. So don't expect things to work out of the box, not because it's stupid Russia, but mostly because it generally does not. Whatever you do, generally new things don't work out of the box. You gotta iterate on them. You gotta build them new versions. You gotta do the iterations for this. And considering how poorly Russian equipment is, I would suggest that they would have to. This is going to be a big problem for them.
Mike Shantz says the Armada will be similar to a King Tiger, in that when it shows up, everyone will try to kill it. Maybe. But I think the difference between a King Tiger and the Armada is that the King Tiger was designed to actually work in real life, whereas the Armada was kind of a fantasy project to, launder money to your friends. There's the big difference. Like the King Tiger, it had its flaws, but they actually wanted it to work. it was intended to work. It was always intended to be a weapon. And the Armada was, it's just a money laundering scheme.
So, like, you cannot exactly say that, but of course, everyone wants your baby to work. But you know, you gotta have the school and experience to do this. Russia did not have any experience to do this. So their school of tank building, tank manufacturing was focused on like T-90s, T-72 has completely different approach to tank building, and you cannot just switch from one concept in tank manufacturing to another. It's like cars, you know. Even like, how long does it take for a new manufacturer to produce finally a good working solution? It takes so much iteration, so much investment, and here you have like the unit that was producing numbers of 20 that was never tested. You just, you know, even if you wanted to work, even if you did not steal all the money, which they did, which they probably did, you still have to, you know, test it somewhere. And they did not. They have never tested this. It's like, you know, T-72 had its own. T-72, for example, is a good tank for its time, but once again, it wasn't, and it was tested. Like when it became, like it was deployed in the wars, it had its flaws, but it was like tested in those wars, and because how cheap it was all right. The idea was, okay, it's not the best tank, but we produce it in thousands, and we can actually be fine with the fact that it does not perform that well because we have the numbers. With Armada, you don't have neither numbers, neither you know, the quality. So I don't believe it's gonna work out just statistically, you know.
And even if it's the best tank ever, it's going to make no difference because there's not enough. So, because, you know, 20 tanks aren't going to change anything. It's just being realistic. But anyways, I think we've gone on long enough. So thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll see you on Tuesday. On Thursday. We'll see you on Thursday.
See you. Thank you for coming.